Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Omos reportedly scheduled for singles match at WWE WrestleMania 38. WWE is reportedly planning a WrestleMania 38 singles match for Omos. Omos quickly won his feud over former tag team partner AJ Styles earlier this year, and it was reported then that WWE had big plans for the big man on the road to WrestleMania. Now, WrestleVotes reports that as of now, there is a singles match planned for Omos at WrestleMania. The report did not name who Omos will go against at WrestleMania, but it was noted that the opponent may surprise some people. There was no hint on who this opponent might be, and it was stated that the opponent will not be Cody Rhodes or Veer Mahaan for what it's worth. Omos remains undefeated in WWE TV singles matches following his DQ loss to current Raw Tag Team Champion Randy Orton on the August 16, 2021 Raw episode. Since then, he has WWE TV singles wins over John Morrison, Raw Tag Team Champion Riddle, Styles, Enhancement talent Nick Sanders, Reggie, and a handicap win over Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, T-Bar, Apollo Crews, and Commander Aziz, which just came last week. In an update, Bobby Lashley is reportedly scheduled for a WrestleMania 38 match. As we've noted, Lashley suffered an injury during the Royal Rumble match with WWE Champion Brock Lesnar in January, where Lashley won the title. He was then temporarily written off of television at the Elimination Chamber event in February, where Lesnar regained the bout. It was reported that Lashley would be out of action for around 4 months. In an update, Fightful Select reports that as of this past weekend, WWE has plans for Lashley vs Omos to take place at WrestleMania 38. It should be noted that there is no confirmation on Lashley being medically cleared to compete following the shoulder surgery he was reportedly scheduled for in late February. If Lashley does return to the ring at WrestleMania 38, that would mean he's returning ahead of schedule. WWE announces when Veer Mahaan will re-debut on Raw. Veer Mahaan is set to make his official WWE Raw re-debut on the biggest red brand show of the year. After months of coming soon vignettes on Raw, WWE has announced that Veer will make his return to Raw on the post-WrestleMania 38 episode on April 4th. WWE aired the vignette to hype April 4 during last night's Raw, which can be seen on social media and during the broadcast. Veer tweeted on his upcoming debut and said he's been listening to his fans, quote, "Dedicated to the optimistic and positive of my fans that kept their fists raised high in support. I heard you. Yeah, the man is coming. He always was. I'm clearing that path ahead. Don't stand in the way. Better yet, please try." Veer's Raw return has become one of the biggest jokes of the internet wrestling community as the coming soon vignettes began airing back on October 25th. It was reported at one point that WWE officials were aware of the comedic nature of stretching the vignettes out for so long. WWE Hall of Famer praises Kevin Owens for Steve Austin impersonation on Raw. Kevin Owens trolled fans by impersonating WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin on this week's WWE Raw. As can be seen during the broadcast, Owens kicked off Raw by stepping out to Austin's theme music, wearing Austin's iconic Austin 316 shirt to go with a bold cap, cut-off jeans, and knee braces. Owens then proceeded to mimic Austin's catchphrases, including "Gimme a hell yeah" and "What?", before talking about how he plans to embarrass the Texas Rattlesnake at WrestleMania 38. Owens even tricked the crowd into thinking Austin was coming out for real by hitting Austin's theme music again, only to start laughing and taunting the disappointing fans at the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois. Owens then tried to end the segment by having the ring crew toss him a few beers for a beer bash, but instead kept dropping the cans. When a crew member entered the ring to hand him a beer, Owens nailed him with a stunner and then gave him his own beer bash. Owens then stepped over the ring crew member and posed in the corner, continuing his best Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonation. WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley was tweeting live during Raw and was impressed by Owens' impersonation of his former tag team partner, saying, quote, "Man, I love this type of thing. Great job by KO to open the show." Appearing on the Rich Eisen show last week, Austin recounted the story of his first ever meeting with Kevin Owens in 2005 and why Owens had gained his respect over the years. Austin will be a guest on the KO show on night 1 of WrestleMania 38. WWE makes changes to 2 WrestleMania 38 matches. WWE has added Otis and Chad Gable to the Raw Tag Team Championship match at WrestleMania 38 to make it a triple threat. WWE announced yesterday that the bout will now feature Randy Orton and Riddle defending against two teams, the Street Profits and Alpha Academy, the former champions. The match was originally announced as the Profits vs RK Bro, but now the former champions have been added. WWE has also confirmed the triple threat for the Raw Tag Team Championships for Night 2 of WrestleMania 38, known as WrestleMania Sunday. On a related note, the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles is no longer assigned to a night as of this recording. WWE previously had the match set for WrestleMania Sunday, but now the match is listed for Saturday or Sunday. WWE should be confirming the bout for Night 1 or Night 2 soon. The match will see Carmella and Queen Zelina Vega defend against Sasha Banks and Naomi, Natalya and Shayna Baszler, plus Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Cody Rhodes' sister says Dusty would be beaming at, quote, "What's next?" Cody Rhodes' sister says their father, the late WWE Hall of Famer, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, would be proud if he could see what's next. Teal Rhodes took to Twitter on Sunday and shared a photo of Cody and Dusty and potentially gave some insight into Cody's future. Quote, "I knew my old man best and I know he would be beaming with pride if he could see what's next," Teal wrote. Rhodes has not responded to the tweet as of this recording. Cody and his wife Brandi Rhodes left AEW in February, shocking the pro wrestling world. After weeks of rumors and speculation, it was reported last week that Rhodes has signed a new contract with WWE and is set to return to the company during WrestleMania 38 weekend. Rhodes has been rumored to face Seth Rollins on the grandest stage of them all, but it's also been reported he will be on the Raw after WrestleMania for his return. Current plans reportedly have Rhodes being on the Raw roster. The Undertaker believes today's WWE product lacks a level of grit. The Undertaker recently spoke with the True Geordie podcast about the evolution of the wrestling business. He praised the fact there are now protocols in place in terms of injuries, and the future Hall of Famer made it clear that wasn't always the case in the past. Quote, "Fortunately, our business has evolved. Now we have trainers and we have doctors that travel with us. There are protocols in place when you do get hurt," he said. So that is one of the greatest evolutions in our business, that you have to, if you do get hurt, you have to get cleared before you're allowed to get back in the ring. Whereas early on, you didn't tell anybody that you were hurt because you didn't want to take any time off because you didn't want to not get paid. It's a bloody vicious cycle. You're out there working hurt, and when you're working hurt, you're trying to protect one thing, and then you're going to end up hurting something else. The Undertaker also spoke about the current product and what he believes is missing. For him, there's less grit involved. However, he used Brock Lesnar as an example of someone who still brings that, as fans know what to expect from him. Quote, "I feel like there's a level of grit that's missing from today's product. I don't know if that's anybody's fault. We all aged out, so that new group has come up," he stated. "When you watch Brock wrestle, you're interested because you know he's got this background, not only as an amateur wrestler, professional wrestler, mixed martial artist. Brock doesn't do a bunch of crazy moves. Brock manhandles your ass. You get in there and you throw around. You get smashed." The Undertaker then went on to praise Roman Reigns and Randy Orton for also having that style, although he also thinks that talent nowadays comes from a superhero era. Quote, "Roman has a little of that in him. When he wants to, Randy has that in him. When he wants to," he added. "But a lot of the younger talent, it's the evolution of that comic book era, the superhero era. I think that's what their motivation and what their inspiration is. And they didn't have to come up and bust heads in bars and figure out how they were going to eat and things like that." Tony Khan announces new Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor match. Jay Lethal vs. Lee Moriarty is now official for Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 15. AEW President, CEO, General Manager and Head of Creative Tony Khan, who is now the new owner of ROH, took to Twitter yesterday and announced Lethal vs. Moriarty for Supercard of Honor, noting that Matt Sydal will be in Moriarty's corner. Quote, "ROH Supercard of Honor next Friday, April 1st, Dallas Metroplex. The franchise of Ring of Honor returns as Jay Lethal goes one-on-one with Lee Moriarty, with his mentor and former Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion Matt Sydal in his corner. Supercard tickets available at ringofhonortix.com and on pay-per-view at Fight TV," Khan wrote. ROH Supercard of Honor 15 will take place on Friday, April 1st from the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, Texas. It will air live via Fight TV and Honor Club. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.